Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to be looking at some super interesting theories from Calogero Grifasi. He's a hypnotist who specializes in alien abduction and interference.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're exploring an interview he gave
Okay.
where he lays out some really intriguing theories. So yeah, get ready for a wild ride.
So what I find fascinating here is Grifasi doesn't just talk about, general concepts.
Right.
He actually gets into the details of his work, like his approach to hypnotic regression, and even has a specialized training program he developed.
Yeah, there seems to be a huge demand for his sessions.
Yeah.
It's interesting he has this multi-tiered training program
Yeah.
for hypnotists who want to work with him.
Yeah, it's not your typical hypnosis certification course.
No, not at all.
He really emphasizes a very specific methodology and mindset,
Yeah.
particularly when it comes to safety and control during the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about seeking out the most, dramatic experiences.
Yeah.
It's about approaching these altered states with caution and respect.
That makes sense, especially if you're dealing with something as sensitive as potential alien encounters.
Right.
You wouldn't want things to get out of hand.
Exactly.
He also brings up this concept of implants,
Yes.
and they're not what you might initially think.
Right. You might think of implants as like simple tracking devices.
Right.
But Grifasi suggests they're more like personalized interfaces,
Huh.
unique to each individual.
So it's not like everyone gets the same standard issue implant.
That's what Grifasi's research seems to suggest.
Wow.
And he compares these implants to sophisticated computer systems,
Okay.
like you'd find in modern cars,
Oh, wow.
managing various functions and responding to different inputs.
Okay, now that's where it gets really interesting.
Right.
Because he's actually hesitant to create a catalog of implant types because he believes they are so complex and individual.
That's fascinating.
So how do these personalized implants even work?
Well, this is where Grifasi introduces the concept of vibrational frequencies.
Oh, okay.
Think about, like, when you listen to your favorite music.
Yeah.
It's a certain vibe.
Yeah, totally.
Grifasi believes that's because it's operating on a specific vibrational frequency.
So he's suggesting that everything has a vibrational frequency?
Exactly.
Even our emotions?
Exactly. And he takes it a step further
Okay.
by saying that lower frequencies, like fear, anger, or worry,
Mm-hmm.
might actually be a source of energy
What?
for certain entities.
Hold on. The idea that emotions are food for entities sounds pretty out there.
It's definitely thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And while Grifasi doesn't present, like, hard scientific evidence,
Okay.
he bases this idea on years of observations during his hypnosis sessions.
I see.
He's noticed patterns and correlations between the emotional states of his subjects
Right.
and the types of entities they encounter.
Okay, so if our vibrational frequencies can attract certain entities, how do we escape their influence?
Well, Grifasi suggests the answer might lie in breaking free from a system he calls the reincarnation trap.
Now, most people think of reincarnation as a spiritual belief,
Right.
but he's presenting it as a potential control mechanism.
Yeah, a cycle that keeps us trapped in certain patterns and limits our true potential.
He even suggests that the information and knowledge we supposedly gain through reincarnation is already within us.
Yeah.
So what's the point of this cycle if we're not actually learning anything new?
That's a key question.
Yeah.
Grifasi believes that the learning aspect of reincarnation might be a fabrication,
Wow.
a way to keep us from accessing our true power and consciousness.
Okay.
Think of it like a video game,
Right.
where you keep playing the same level over and over again, never truly progressing.
Right.
Grifasi suggests reincarnation might be similar.
Hmm.
We think we're learning, but maybe we're just stuck in a loop.
So how do we break free from this loop?
Grifasi believes the key lies in accessing our true will and consciousness. He suggests that by tapping into our inner wisdom, we can break free from this cycle of control
Okay.
and reclaim our inherent power as creators.
Wait, creators? Is he talking about like a divine creator or something?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Grifasi posits that everyone has the potential to be a creator,
Mm-hmm.
but our power is limited in our current physical state.
Okay.
He suggests that there might be other beings,
Uh-huh.
creators who have a greater understanding of consciousness and reality.
So is he suggesting that traditional religious figures like gods or prophets might be these advanced creators?
That's one interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Grifasi doesn't explicitly equate these creators with traditional religious figures,
Okay.
but he does acknowledge that there might be a hierarchy of beings
Right.
with varying levels of power and awareness.
And here's where Grifasi throws another curveball.
Yeah.
He observes that there seems to be conflict and power struggles,
Oh, yeah?
even among these creator entities. So it's not just us humans we're dealing with drama and conflict.
Right.
It's like a cosmic soap opera playing out on a grand scale.
It definitely challenges the simplistic notion of a unified, benevolent higher power.
Yeah.
Grifasi's observations suggest a much more complex and dynamic interplay of forces at play.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this idea of copies.
Yeah.
You're saying there might be other versions of me out there
Uh-huh.
in different dimensions?
Yeah.
That's both fascinating and a little creepy.
I know, it's a lot to take in.
What exactly does Grifasi believe is the purpose of these copies?
Grifasi believes that exact versions of ourselves might exist in other dimensions.
Okay.
He calls them copies.
Mm-hmm.
And they might serve various purposes
Right.
within this larger system of control.
Uh-huh.
Some copies might be used for experimentation,
What?
others as energy sources,
Wow.
and some might even function as implants themselves,
Oh, wow.
influencing the original in subtle ways.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, we're talking about implants, vibrational frequencies, and even the possibility of copies of ourselves existing in other dimensions.
Right.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality.
It certainly challenges our conventional understanding of self, identity, and the nature of reality itself.
Wow.
And we're just getting started.
Oh, no.
Grifasi's insights go even deeper,
Oh, boy.
exploring the potential aftermath of a hidden Third World War and the possibility of a unified American continent,
Wow.
guided by extraterrestrial messages.
Okay.
We'll delve into those fascinating topics in the next part of our deep dive.
Wow, I can't wait to unpack that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, because we're about to go even deeper down the rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's pick up where we left off. You mentioned a hidden Third World War and a unified American continent.
Yeah,
Now, those sound like plot points from a sci-fi movie.
it does, right?
What exactly is Grifasi talking about here?
Well, Grifasi suggests that this Third World War wasn't your typical global conflict. It was more of a covert war,
Mm-hmm.
fought with advanced technology that we can barely comprehend.
Wow.
He even mentions the use of plasma bombs.
Plasma bombs.
Yeah, weapons that cause widespread damage,
Okay.
but without the lingering radiation of nuclear weapons.
So no mushroom clouds and fallout shelters this time,
Exactly.
but still devastating in its own way.
Absolutely.
Grifasi paints a picture of a world reeling from the aftermath of this hidden war
Mm-hmm.
with major geopolitical shifts
Right?
and power struggles playing out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And this is where the idea of a unified American continent comes in.
Right.
Okay, so national borders dissolving, everyone singing Kumbaya.
Yeah.
How does that fit into this whole post-war scenario?
Well, Grifasi suggests that this unification wasn't entirely voluntary.
Okay.
He believes it was a direct response to a message
Mess
from the
for
stars,
the stars.
urging the survivors of this war to come together as one.
So like humanity received a cosmic wake-up call, pushing us towards unity whether we were ready for it or not.
Right.
So extraterrestrial intervention in human affairs.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big claim.
It is.
Does Grifasi offer any insights into who sent this message?
He doesn't...
Or what their motivations might be?
No, not really. He doesn't go into specifics about the source of the message. But he does suggest that this unified American continent is now governed by representatives
Representatives.
who are receiving guidance from extraterrestrial sources.
It's like a new world order, but
Yeah.
with an extraterrestrial twist.
Right.
Wow, it's starting to feel like we're living in a Philip K. Dick novel.
Yeah, a little bit.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the hypnosis sessions themselves.
Okay.
Grifasi mentioned some pretty intense encounters.
He does.
What are some of the standout moments that really caught your attention?
Well, one of the most striking examples Grifasi describes involves an entity
Okay.
that embodied the energy of a turtle.
A turtle.
Yeah, imagine that. A turtle-like being latching on to a subject
Oh,
during a hypnosis session.
that sounds bizarre to say the least.
It is very strange.
What happened? Did this turtle entity pose a threat?
Well, it caused significant discomfort to the subject,
Okay.
and Grifasi had to intervene. He describes a process of confrontation and removal,
Right.
highlighting the importance of discernment
Okay.
and asserting one's will in these encounters.
So it's not about passively accepting whatever comes through,
No, not at all.
but actively engaging with these entities.
Yeah.
And establishing boundaries.
Exactly. It's like a cosmic negotiation.
Yeah.
You have to stand your ground and make it clear what you will and won't tolerate.
Grifasi emphasizes that these interactions are dynamic and can be quite unpredictable. He describes power struggles between different beings,
Mhm.
entities attempting to deceive or manipulate,
Right.
and the need to constantly adapt and reassess the situation.
Yeah, it sounds like navigating a minefield. Except the minds are interdimensional beings with their own agendas.
What are some of the key takeaways from these hypnosis sessions? What insights can we glean from these encounters, even if we're not hypnotists ourselves?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is the reminder that consciousness
Right.
is a vast and multifaceted phenomenon.
Okay.
We're not just dealing with our own thoughts and emotions,
Right.
but potentially interacting with other intelligences, other forms of consciousness that operate according to rules we may not fully understand.
So it's like expanding our perception of reality beyond the limits of our everyday experience.
Right, and it also underscores the importance of critical thinking and discernment.
Okay.
Grifasi's sessions highlight the potential for deception,
Right.
manipulation, and the need to question everything.
Even our own perceptions.
Even our own perceptions. Yeah.
Don't take anything at face value.
Right.
Always question, always challenge.
Exactly.
That's a good rule of thumb, whether you're exploring the cosmos or just trying to make sense of the daily news cycle.
Absolutely.
But speaking of challenging our perceptions,
Yeah,
Grifasi also delves into some pretty mind-bending concepts
he does.
about the nature of control information and what it means to be human.
Yes, and those are concepts that are sure to spark some deep reflection
Yeah,
and perhaps even a bit of existential questioning.
right.
We'll dive into those fascinating areas in the final part of our deep dive.
I'm ready to go deeper.
Let's unravel these mysteries.
All right, we've journeyed through some pretty wild territory. Implants, hidden wars, a unified American continent,
Yeah.
even turtle entities. Where do we go from here?
Well, now we reach the heart of Grifasi's work,
Okay.
exploring the nature of control and how it permeates our lives, often in ways we don't even realize.
Okay, so we're not just talking about shadowy government agencies or manipulative media.
No.
What other forms of control is Grifasi talking about?
He suggests that control can be much more subtle and pervasive.
Okay.
Think about the beliefs we hold, the fears we harbor, the desires we chase.
Right.
These can all be forms of control, limiting our choices and shaping our perceptions.
So even seeking guidance or comfort, whether it's through religion, therapy, or even something like hypnosis, could be seen as giving away our power.
That's a point Grifasi raises.
Okay.
It's not to say that all forms of guidance are inherently controlling,
Right.
but it's about being aware of the potential for external influences to shape our thinking and behavior.
So if we're constantly bombarded with messages and influences, how do we even begin to break free from this web of control?
Grifasi believes the key lies in recleansing our innate knowledge and wisdom.
Okay.
Remember, he argues that the information we supposedly gain through reincarnation is already within us.
Right.
It's not about learning new things,
Yeah.
but about remembering what we already know.
It's like we have all the answers inside us,
Ah,
but something is blocking our access.
exactly. He uses this powerful analogy. Imagine our bodies are like vast libraries,
Okay.
and each cell contains the complete blueprint for who we are.
Okay.
The information is there.
Right.
It's just a matter of learning how to access it.
Okay, so how do we tap into this inner library? Do we need a special library card? A secret password?
Grifasi emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, critical thinking, and questioning everything.
Okay.
He encourages us to examine our beliefs,
Right.
our motivations, and the influences that shape our perceptions.
So it's about becoming conscious of the ways we might be giving our power away.
Exactly.
So it's not just about absorbing information, but about actively filtering and analyzing it.
Yeah.
Developing our own internal BS detector, so to speak.
Exactly. And Grifasi also stresses the importance of connecting with our intuition,
Okay.
that inner voice that guides us beyond the limitations of logic and reason.
Intuition, that's a tricky one.
It is.
How do you differentiate between genuine intuition and just wishful thinking?
It's a practice, a process of cultivating awareness and learning to trust that inner knowing.
Right.
Grifasi sees intuition as a direct link to our higher selves, to that part of us that is connected to a deeper source of wisdom.
So what does all this mean for our understanding of reality and our place within it? Are we just helpless puppets, or do we actually have agency and free will?
Grifasi's perspective is incredibly empowering.
Okay.
He suggests that we are not merely pawns in a game controlled by external forces.
Right.
We are powerful beings with the capacity to shape our own destinies.
But it also requires taking responsibility for our choices, beliefs, and the energy we bring into the world.
It's a call to awaken to our true potential, to step out of the matrix of control and into a reality where we are the conscious creators of our own experiences.
Wow.
It's not an easy path,
Right.
but it's a journey of self-discovery and liberation.
That's quite a journey Grifasi is inviting us on.
It is.
Exploring the nature of consciousness, questioning everything, and ultimately taking control of our own reality.
Exactly. As we conclude this deep dive, I hope you're left with a sense of curiosity, a spark of inspiration, and perhaps a few questions to ponder.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Calogero Grifasi's mind-bending ideas. Remember, the journey of self-discovery is ongoing, and the answers, as Grifasi suggests, might already be within you, just waiting to be uncovered.